I'm back. Very sorry about that. This is the third attempt to try and do this live stream. Something went wrong. It kind of took me out of the broadcast and I had to come back in. And when I came back in, I was in here twice and it was causing the echo problem. But hopefully I think it's all sorted now. So anyway, we're all sorted now. Still waiting on Sam. Don't know what's going on. But I'm going to give it a couple more minutes until he actually comes in. He's maybe not been home long. You don't know. But he should be coming in soon. Oh, man. But yes, we are back. Before Sam does come in, I really do apologise for the lack of content. And also I apologise for my voice. My throat is really croaky. It started last night and my throat is a bit sore today. So I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. So my throat is a little bit croaky. Yeah. But yeah, so we do apologise for the lack of content recently. We've just been busy with work, and as I mentioned in the YouTube short I did yesterday, announcing this stream. Basically, yeah, we went to a convention called TF Nation, which is a Transformers convention. So we went there, and we've only been home. This is going into I think the second week since we come back, and we've been back at work as well. So yeah, so we've been back at work and we've been busy. So we've just not really had the time to do anything or make any videos. So we're back for this live stream. So apparently there is some news what we can talk about, some new stuff that we haven't spoken about yet in regards to the Make Your Mark Netflix series. So we're going to be talking about that as well, and anything else we can find. One person watching, hello to you. So, hopefully Sam will be in soon. Oh, here he is. Sweetie sweet.
Hello, how are you all?
Hello. Nobody here just yet. I've just had 3 attempts to get this stream working. So, it kind of kicked me out. And then I had an echo problem because there's 2 of me. You know, I thought one of me was enough. But there was two of us and it was causing a massive echo problem. So I had to delete the previous 2 attempts and start a new one. So, but yeah, we're up and revving now.
Good. I'm just sorting out a little bit of a financial thing, which I really need to cancel because I cannot afford it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Actually, it's pony related. You know the Kabuto figures?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the Princess Celestia on pre-order. Probably had it on pre-order for like 18 months. Completely forgot about it because I thought it wasn't even happening. And I've literally just got an email literally about a minute ago saying, you know, oh, we've got them coming into stock, so we'll be charging your card. It's like, no, don't do that. I actually really can't afford to buy this figure anymore. So, yeah, I'm going to have to cancel it. I've got Sunset and I've got Luna. Quite happy with them, but I can't really afford to fork out so much money for this other figure. I just can't do it, mate. So I'm literally going to email them right now and tell them please cancel my pre-order because I really can't afford this figure. I'm afraid. Not with well, the way things are at the moment and so forth. Well, with what I'm putting away monthly, I can't really afford to fork out that kind of money.
No worries.
Yeah, but you know, I've got Luna, I've got Sunset. I'm happy with them.
Good.
So hopefully we can cancel this because I do not want to buy it anymore.
So, yeah, I don't know whether to just wait a couple of more minutes and see if anybody actually does pop in. I have put it in the Discord server, but it seems everybody's offline at the moment. But to be honest, that's our fault. We've pretty much not really been on our Discord server for a little bit, and I guess a lot of people are just tuned out, or they just don't really follow us as much anymore. But that's our own fault because, as I was saying before Sam came in, you know, we've been very busy with with other stuff, work and other stuff. And obviously, like I said, we've both been to a convention called TF Nation, and it's like just going into like the 2nd week since we came back, and it's been my first week back at work as well this week. So yeah, I've just not had the time to really do anything, but there is some news to talk about. There is some Equestria Daily posts. Apparently, we're finally getting a good look at that Alicorn print, that Alicorn that came into the ending of the special. So there's that to talk about. I don't know if there's anything else that we can find, because I know that some people have been making a few videos. I know Dr. Wolf has been making some videos, and apparently there's been a little bit more information, a little bit more news in regards to the Netflix series that's coming out next month or in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's literally due out. Hang on, I can give you the exact date, mate. 26th of September. So it's literally due out 4 weeks. 4 weeks time. Literally 4 weeks on Monday.
Sweet.
So we're a month away from it.
Yep. Well, if nobody comes in, we'll just do the stream and we'll just wait and see, because usually a lot of our viewers are from different countries.
True.
So if anybody does happen to come on by during the stream, it's usually between now and 9 o'clock that we usually get any sort of views when we do a live stream. But if anybody of our regular viewers wants to come in, I know there was one person that came in and then went back out again. But it's one of those things is that when you're away from a channel, and we're not the biggest channel out there for MLP stuff. We're actually relatively small, but yet, I'm hoping that we can kind of come back most Friday nights. Because Friday evenings are better for me to do live streams in regards to this channel. Saturdays, I'm usually busy doing something, kind of socializing with friends and such. So I won't be able to do it on a Saturday. So we're going to try, hopefully me and Sam, if anything really significant comes up, we're going to try our absolute damnedest to do a live stream a little bit more often, because we have completely, how can I put this? We have kind of completely, we just haven't really been engaging you guys very well recently. But this is life, This is life. You get, life gets in the way. So we've got one person watching. Hello to you. Don't know who you are. If you want to come into the chat, by all means, come into the chat. The only problem is at this time of evening, we will start to get potential trolling. So I'm going to be keeping an eye, and also be seeing if Samboy there, my fellow co-host, can also keep an eye on the chat just in case he spots anything that could be disrespectful of any way, so we can get rid of it in real time.
Right, since G5 is the sort of what's coming up, and no doubt what we'll all be talking about within the next month, I wanted to discuss something with you, mate.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this morning, actually, just largely because I'd read some posts on Equestria Daily, and I'd watched a few videos as well about a couple of people who were literally giving their thoughts on G5 and obviously its future. And it really got me thinking. And I say this not in like a disrespectful way or a negative way or anything like that. Just what I'm going to say, I'm saying primarily based off what I know about the fandom and G4, and especially the fandom at the very height of the G4 years. I do not think G5 will have the same success rate that G4 had. I don't think it's going to quite be on that level. I think it'll be received by the fan base, but I don't think it will be as successful as G4 was.
Yeah, I can kind of see that going in. I mean, obviously, as we know, obviously, Friendship is Magic, it became a big phenomenon. Even surprised Hasbro with how well it did. Especially,
it's why they went as many seasons as they did. Originally, there was only meant to be 3 seasons, but the fan base.
Yeah, that's obviously that's the reason why season 3 was like half the episodes, because it was originally going to be the end of it. But then there was kind of like a massive resurgence of people tuning in, and it finally started to hit the UK kids channels around about season 2. I think when season 2 was finishing up airing in Canada and America, I think it just kind of got picked up in the UK. So I think when season 3, I mean, there was on season 3 when I first found out about Friendship is Magic in the first place. And obviously the first 2 Equestria Girl films were out at the time as well on Netflix. And I heard about Friendship is Magic, and we've spoken about everything like this before, but I knew about Friendship is Magic and everything, but I wasn't sure whether to check it out or not, because I've never been a fan of the previous generations. But when I checked out that one episode just by chance on a channel called Pop, and I checked out one episode, and it was the Spike, and he's eating the gems, and he's trying to make a cake for rarity. And when I saw like how when I watched that episode, I think that was maybe a season 2 episode, I think. And when I watched that, I was actually quite surprised. I actually thought that's actually not too bad. You know, it's certainly a little bit better compared to what I've seen before previously. And so I went on and checked out from episode 1, and I've been following it ever since that day. But yeah, getting to your question, answering the question you just brought up there, saying about how, you know, the French Biz Magic, it was a big surprise hit for both Hasbro and for many people that, you know, probably never really appreciated My Little Pony when it came out originally back in the 80s and such, and the different variations of the last, you know, the previous 3 generations. And yeah, it surprised a lot of people, but it captured a lot of imagination, French Biz Magic, you know, with the animation style, seeing an animated cartoon go to a actual, more like traditional methods. It's like yes, it's digitally enhanced, because obviously it was all done on tablets and on computers through I can't remember what they used. Was it Flash or something? Flash Animation Studio something originally?
They weren't using Flash. They were using something similar to Flash, but
yeah,
it wasn't
I can't remember
Flash.
what it was, but yeah, so they were using some sort of animation studio. But it was really quite cool to see it go back to that kind of route of animation where it was really beautiful, vibrant, very nice colors, and that's what kind of piqued my interest, was how beautiful the animation was. And also I liked the characters. You know, Rainbow Dash is my favorite for French Biz Magic, and you know, but all the characters have their own interesting quirks, and I generally really enjoyed French Biz Magic because the characters were great. I thought the characters were good, and I thought the animation style was good. But coming into G5 territory, it's going to be interesting to see going forward just how much of a draw it's going to get. Yes, the new movie that the film that went up on Netflix that starts off the whole G5 thing did do relatively quite well. Yes, there were some fans that went too sure because it's going CGI route, like Pixar route, and some people were thinking, I'm not too sure. I would prefer it if they would keep it like 2D animation rather than 3D animation. So yeah, there's some fans out there that, even though they probably were a bit more impressed with the outcome of the movie, but yet they're still more in the mindset of French Biz Magic, which most of us are, because French Biz Magic was such a good show. For the most part, anyways. Yes, there was a couple of episodes later on in the later seasons that weren't as good, but still, as you know, it was a very good show, and it went on for 9 seasons. I still think they should have had a 10th season, even though they essentially did a comic book series, which was they did like a comic book, which was supposedly meant to be the 10th season that they never got to do in an animated format. But no, I mean, I still, you know, going into G5 again, I'm not gonna judge it too much yet. I mean, we've only had the movie, and we've had a special, and the special is what kind of is giving us the idea of what's going to happen going forward. A lot of people's thoughts was the animation wasn't as good or polished because it was a different studio that apparently animated the special, as we know. And some people were a bit concerned that the quality of animation for the series might be the same, but apparently it's meant to be a different studio doing the actual main series. So we're just going to have to wait and see when the main series actually does start streaming on Netflix, because I'm still relatively open-minded about G5. I think the G5 movie did in fact bring in some new fans. It did actually bring in a new generation of fans. It did its job there, where it piqued mostly some interest by people that have been fans since maybe G3 or G4 time. It piqued some interest in fans that have been around for a little bit. But it ultimately did actually bring in some new fans, like new generation of fans, which is kind of a good thing, I guess. The special, not so much. There was a lot of criticism around the special, but yeah, it was only doing a certain job. It was just kind of setting up what you would possibly could expect going forward, and it was literally just a It was just a connection point between the events of the movie and what's going to happen in the main series. So if you think about it in that step, I'm not all that bothered about the special, because the specials going forward, a lot of the specials going forward, they're just going to be like holiday specials. They're going to be like Halloween specials. They're going to be Christmas specials. So there's going to be very little of them that are actually going to be canon to the main story. This first special is literally just there's only going to be so many, I think, that are going to be canonized to what's going on in the story. But but saying all that, I am very open-minded about G5. We're just going to have to wait and see what they're going to do in regards to the series. I mean, I've mentioned this a few times before. I don't know whether they're going to release it all in one big chunk, like the entire series, because it's meant to be over 20 odd episodes again, so it's going to be like a full-on series. So I don't know whether they're going to do it in one big chunk, or if they're just going to give us like half the series and then they'll maybe release the rest of it later on in the year. Kind of that kind of thing, or whether we're just going to get an episode per week, because Netflix have kind of changed the way that they release their stuff, especially when it comes to, well, most of the series, even live action stuff, as well as animated. Some stuff goes up in one big chunk, like you can watch the entire thing, you can binge it, like Stranger Things, for instance. That goes up, well, actually, no. Yes, it does. The Stranger Things goes up straight away. Or at least the first 3 seasons did, anyways. I think season 4 was different. I don't know if season 4, I can't remember if season 4 went up altogether, but anyway, you get my point. Most stuff goes up in one big chunk, so you can just binge the entire thing. But they've also kind of been going down the route of weekly uploads, or weekly, like Amazon Prime do it with like The Boys and a lot of their original stuff, series stuff. You might get like one episode per week, same as like with Disney Plus, like She-Hulk and such, and the Marvel stuff. You get an episode 1 per week, or like with the Star Wars stuff, like the Kenobi show, you got a 2-episode opener, and the rest was every week after that. So this thing at the moment with stuff, especially this is going to be a Netflix kind of thing. So Netflix's name is going to be over it, because obviously they are a part of the process, even though it's been Hasbro and E1 that are a part of the actual production of it. But obviously Netflix, with Netflix, they're basically just giving the platform to them to be able to put this series on, really. But they will be part of the production in some capacity. But yeah, I mean, I'm very open-minded still. I'm very open-minded for G5. I'm looking forward to see what goes on. I can still see a little bit of French Biz Magic's identity in G5 in regards to how the new characters are. They seem to emulate certain aspects of the main 5 from French Biz Magic. So, I'm actually quite interested. I'm quite interested and still intrigued. I mean, and obviously we've got the web series as well. I think it's Tell Your Tale, is it, or something? Which is the YouTube little web series that's also coincided. Well, not coincided, it's a separate thing, but it's G5 ponies, the G5 characters. So I don't know what the reception's been like for that. But I mean, to be honest, I haven't watched many episodes. I think I've only watched maybe about 3, and I really need to get on track. Oh, got 4 people, nice one. But yeah, so we're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to get back on track with the Tell Your Tale, make your mark, or whatever you want to call it, the little YouTube web series. But we haven't really got much to go on, and I think it's too early to really judge G5 because the series may surprise us. You never know. I mean, I can still see the identity. I can still see Friendship is Magic, a little bit of that essence there. Whether it'll be as good or on par with Friendship is Magic is another question. But I'm interested. I'm still interested. Well, yeah, I'm definitely interested.
What interests me, I've just actually been reading a lot of comments on Equestria Daily there, what people have been talking about G5. But one of the things that really interests me about G5 is a lot of the early G5 concept art and story ideas. They were actually just going to do a G4 reboot. The original G5 idea was they were going to bring back the main 6, but it was effectively the Equestria that we have in G5 would still have been that Equestria, but it would have been the G4 ponies. For example, one thing that is confirmed is that the original idea was Twilight would have been an Earth pony.
Yeah.
She would have been a unicorn. And you get the impression that a lot of it was based around Twilight maybe gaining the Alicorn magic through the events of the film. There's concept art that shows what appears to be a different version of Princess Celestia. So we know that the original idea was effectively G4 remade. It was going to be a G5, but it was going to be the G4 characters. Then I think the idea progressed into a new set of characters because I think realistically releasing G5 as basically a reboot of G4 just wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have seemed right, It would have been like I don't know, trying to do a remake of the 1986 Transformers film and having the exact same characters doing the exact same thing and it being the exact same story. There'd be no point of doing that. You'd have to change everything to really make it a reboot. So ultimately, that's what they did with G5. I am quite interested in some of the stuff that's popping up in these screenshots. One of them actually looks a bit like, that really weird vine-like tree that Discord sort of created in, I think it was season 5, I think. Well, there's a screenshot of something that looks very similar, so I'm kind of curious as to whether or not we might see Discord later on in G5. But we do know that there's going to be 4 specials and there's 23 episodes confirmed for the current storyline. However, the first part of it is just 8 episodes. It's definitely going to be interesting because it'll definitely give them a hell of a lot of stuff to talk about at PonyCon. Because obviously last year when I went, the G5 film was the talk of the town, so to speak. But this year it's going to be the first part of the series. But I am, based off what I've read here, a lot of people are. I can understand that. I know the screenshots aren't great. The animation doesn't look great in the screenshots. It looks a bit ropey. It's possible that the screenshots are from maybe early sort of animation before they maybe perfected it. But I am worried about the animation as well because the animation in the G5 film is beautiful. It's like absolutely probably about as best as money can buy. Whereas the Make Your Mark special, the animation in that was pretty ropey. There were points in that special where the characters' faces were almost robotic. They were void of emotion, and it just looked really, really weird. So I am somewhat concerned about what the series will be like, and whether or not the series will have good animation. I mean, as well as that, it's got to be the story as well. I agree with what a lot of people are saying on the forum here, that they're more interested in the story. You know, the animation could be a bit ropey in places, but people are more interested in the story. In a lot of ways, I think G5, the future of G5, heavily relies on what the story is going to be. I mean, it's probably safe to say, obviously, we know we have this mysterious Alicorn who showed up, who probably is going to be the villain of the franchise. Who she is, we don't know. I mean, I know there's loads of theories. There's theories that she's Twilight, but basically corrupted. There's theories that she's perhaps maybe a student of Twilight that fell into darkness. There's even theories that maybe she's an Alicorn that's, I don't know, been locked away, and she's related to Celestia and Luna. There's loads of theories about who she is and what her story is. I mean, I'm generally hoping that we're going to have a good story. I mean, I can cope with, you know, a bit of dodgy animation. I mean, some series that are fully digitally animated tend to improve as seasons go on, but I agree with what a lot of people are saying in this particular chat I'm reading. They are basically saying the story has to be good, the writing has to be good. That's what will make G5 a success. So, you know, we'll just see. I mean, I will admit that the first special they did, it took me a while to warm up to it. I felt like the first half of it was very slow, sort of just very repetitive. Like the second half, like the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I enjoyed, because they set a lot of stuff up for what's going to come in this first season. So ultimately, I'm kind of hoping two things. I'm hoping it isn't going to be too kidified, because although I completely understand, yeah, this is a series that is aimed at children, I've never been a fan of stuff where it's too it's like, how can I put this? It's too child friendly to the point where you can't really watch it as an adult because it's just not entertaining. So I'm hoping it's going to be more family orientated, so you know you can enjoy it no matter how old you are. Time will tell on that. It really will. But I am quite curious about what the future is for G5. I know what a lot of people at the moment are questioning. Just for example, whereabouts is the location in Equestria? Where are our new ponies? You know, where are they located? There's some theories that they're living in an area that is not explored in G4. There's theories that they're in a further out the way area. There's other theories that they are in a section of Equestria that we already know about. And there's loads of theories. I mean, I'm just really hoping that they do link G4 to G5 to G4, because they were kind of doing that in the G5 film. Yeah. So, you know, we know that the main six of G4 are known about in G5 universe. We know that their past exists. It all happened. So I'm really hoping that G5 will explore the past of G4, which is going to be really weird, but it'd be interesting to see it from a perspective of like future characters. And I'm really hoping we get to see other locations from G4, like, you know, Ponyville and Canterlot, and, you know, the Everfree Forest. You know, I'd love to see those types of places pop up rather than just sticking in, you know, Maritime Bay and the other locations as well. You know, I'd much prefer that than repeating the same areas that showed up in the film. Time will tell, and obviously, well, in about a month's time, literally 4 weeks today, we will know, because it'll be on Netflix. But as you say, Nosy, we don't know if it's going to be episode per week or if they're going to release the first chunk of 8 episodes on the day. We'll know in a month's time.
Yeah.
But yeah, my main concern would be the writing. I'm generally hoping the writing is going to be good, because ultimately, if it isn't, then it may not do well. And at the same time, I feel like, as I've said, I don't think it'll live up to G4 because I don't think anything can. I think MLP, Friendship is Magic, I think that is a very rare thing. A unique representation of its time. There are other stuff out there that is just as good, but I don't think G5 will be on the same level as G4. And I could be wrong, but time will tell. But yeah, a lot of people are discussing it. There's a lot of discussion going on at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring on the screen now the article that I found, the screen apps, which is what you were talking about, I think, a little bit, but bring them in. So, don't know if you can see that okay, Sam, on your end?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, let me just get rid of all this stuff. All right, so, shut up, go away. Sort it off. Anyway, so yeah, we've got these new screen apps of these two characters. First time looking at this blue one, this blue unicorn one, and then obviously we've got a better look at the alicorn at the end of the special. So yes, the title, as it says there, says new screen caps of the upcoming G5 Make Your Mark series have appeared. So this was by Sophisto, and we've also got some more images as well. So, so this is here. We've got screen caps appearing of the upcoming Make Your Mark series, revealing some very interesting scenes that we can expect to see out of it, including some brand new characters and more of our new alicorn. Excuse me. Apolline, I believe that's how you pronounce that. Which is, we finally got a name to her, which is good. Check it all out below. So, right, it says, in other news, Netflix have popped up a blurb in their upcoming releases for September with Make Your Mark labeled as Chapter 2 rather than Season 2. Outside of that, though, it will still be the 8 22-minute episodes. So yeah, it's going to be 8 episodes, 22 minutes a piece. So we've got some nice. I think the animation, what we've got here, yes, they'll still be working up to it actually being releasing, but I generally think the animation is a lot better in these screen caps compared to the special. But yeah, so looking at these, you got this new character which I'm kind of interested about. This blue one with the mixed coloured mane. Very interested about her. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see these. I mean, I do love the design of Apolline, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Apolline. But yeah, she looks pretty cool as a character. But it's looking like this character, from what I can gather just from the photos alone, it could be completely misleading. But I generally think she's probably sent to befriend the main characters, maybe, and kind of report back things to her or something like that. Maybe like a little bit of a spy, maybe, or is she her daughter? I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting. I mean, that could be a thing. Maybe it's a daughter because she is about the same age, possibly, of the main characters.
No, I mean, if she was her daughter, then wouldn't she? I mean, it's a good theory, but I mean, if she was her daughter, you would assume she'd be an alicorn.
Possibly so. I mean, I don't know, unless she's just a follower of her, or maybe she's I don't know. I don't know who she is, but it's certainly interesting. Certainly interesting. I mean, you got even more here of Izzy and everyone, and then you've got another picture of the small baby dragon that came into the special. But yeah, so looking at these images, I mean, I think the animation style is a little bit better. They seem to have a little bit more emotion, as you were saying, that their expressions seem to be a bit dead in the special. But I'm kind of getting a little bit more of the movie vibe from the expressions and the facial features. But yeah, so I just wanted to share this. But yeah, I mean, I'm more interested about who this new character is, who she is. I'm very much interested about her. Very much. It is looking from this standpoint that maybe she becomes friends with, becomes friends with them, and she's just reporting back her findings. I don't know. It's a bit hard to tell, really. But I guess we'll find out, won't we?
I think there's a hell of a lot more that obviously we haven't seen yet. But at the same time, I also think I'm just hoping that they manage to link it all together.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably will do. I mean, like I said, I don't know if there's anything else we can find that we can talk about in regards to anything else. But that was like the newest thing, one of the newest things. So I'm just having a look through Equestria now, Equestria Daily. Just have a look.
But there's a lot more interesting theories and things. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of stuff being talked about as well by the fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite interesting. I mean, ultimately, I think with G5, I think I don't know how quite to put this. Right, so here's what I can confirm. Right, so last year at PonyCon, I spoke to one of these sort of event organisers, and he basically said that a lot of people that were there that year were there because of the G5 film, because they'd seen it on Netflix. So it had created already a new fan base effectively. So I think there'll definitely be a newer fan base created with the G5. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious as to how sort of the G4 fans will take G5 into stride. I mean, yeah, the film was really well received. The series could be another matter entirely. Again, it does depend on the story.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, just to clarify what you were just saying a moment ago, I've got another article here which confirms. So it says, yeah, as you said, there's going to be 4 specials, 23 episodes confirmed for G5's current pipeline. Just to confirm what you were saying, Sam. So this one as well. So it says Thunderbird Entertainment has confirmed a full pipeline. So that must be the people that are doing the in production stuff for. Yeah, so Thunderbird Entertainment, they must be doing animating or producing the show or the series. Never actually really heard of Thunderbird Entertainment, to be quite honest with you. Well, yeah, so it says there. So yeah, My Little Pony, 4 times 44 minutes, 23 times 22 minutes. So yeah, it looks like they're working on the specials. So it's the same animation company that are working on the specials as well as the series. Because it says there 4 times 45 minutes, which is obviously the specials, and then you've got 23 times 22 minutes, which is the series. So it says here, Thunderbird Entertainment has confirmed a full pipeline for all the G5 content they are working on with Atomic Cartoons. I apologize. Yep. We now have a complete picture confirmed for our upcoming 3D pony offerings. Assuming Hasbro doesn't have anything in the works with another company, a slide Thunderbird poster up as part of overall business presentation lists 4 44-minute specials and 23 regular episodes, with the upcoming Make Your Mark Chapter 2 on Netflix, including 8 of those. It may be a chapter following those or something else entirely. As for our longer form content, Make Your Mark and Holiday special are known. and the holiday special are known, but we will have to see what they have cooking following those. And if you missed it earlier, we have some screen caps here, so I've already done that one. So yeah, so it's interesting, very interesting indeed. That so you've got this other one as well, which is, I don't know if it's a different show, but it's a DreamWorks one. Has Pony in it, but I think that's completely irrelevant here. But yeah, so yeah, My Little Pony. So yeah, Hasbro /E1, and then it says 44 minutes and 23 times 22 minutes. So yeah, but it looks like we're going to be getting them in parts. More like in parts. So like 8 episodes, and then we're probably going to get like 8 episodes every, maybe, I don't know if they're going to release them monthly, like blocks, or if we're going to get them like later on in the year. I don't know if they're going to work, how they're going to work it. But I think they definitely confirmed earlier on that there's also going to be like a holiday special, like a Christmas one, and then there's going to be another special which is possibly going to be Halloween related. So the other 2 specials still currently to come out. I don't know if they're going to be canonized or if they're going to maybe kickstart. Who knows? I might be jumping the gun here, but could one of them be kickstarting the Equestria Girl again off? But would that be too soon?
Equestria Girls is something I would really like to come back. But I don't really know if they do it in with sort of Gen 5 or not. There's no real, as far as I'm aware, there's no real information on Equestria Girls or if it's ever going to come back. Let's just have a look out of interest. Nothing really.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting of how they're going to work it, because it will be a bit crap if we have to wait an entire year for 8 more episodes, or if they're going to kind of give us 8, see what we think, and then the next litter or the next bunch of episodes, maybe they'll release them monthly, like every month up to the end of the year, or if they're going to release the rest of the episodes maybe end of the year. I don't know, but as you said, there's going to be like 23 episodes and 4 specials, but we're only going to get the first 8 episodes of the series on day 1 of release. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know if we're going to like we do with, like, say, for Cobra Kai, for instance, or anything else that Netflix are working on. You get so many episodes and you've got to wait an entire year for the rest. But I don't think that would work out right unless those 8 episodes really do a good job story wise and everything, and people are really like, ooh, that was good. I can't wait for more episodes. I don't know.
Well, I think in a lot of ways it's possible that they may indeed not have the other episodes coming out until next year. Depending on how they plan things out, they may well delay them, well, not delay them, but plan them for next year, because they may want to see what the reception is for the first sort of part of the new series.
Yeah.
Because obviously they don't know how well it's going to be received. I mean, the film was very well received. I mean, the film was a Netflix #1 for about 2-3 months. It was it was a big film. Then obviously the Make Your Mark special was, for the most part, well received, but I know there was a lot of complaints over the animation, as we've discussed. But for the series, that's where they've really got to see how it all goes. It's either going to be really well received or it's not. And if it's not well received, they may not bother to do anything. They may not bother with it, depending on what the contracts are, of course. They may have to for contract reasons.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, the thing is that's the way Netflix are going as well, is like how they release their episodes. They release so much, some stuff is in, hey, we've got Goosey Bear. Hello, Goosey Bear. Thank you for coming in. So we've got Goosey Bear says, imagine a cute show with cute characters combined with dark themes, violence, dark, etc. That would have been a good combination for this show if it wasn't aimed specifically at little girls, ain't it? So
that was originally that was actually an earlier idea. When G5 was kind of first announced, one of the early ideas was to make it darker. Not specifically make it dark so kids couldn't watch it, but make it a bit darker, a little bit more gritty. Try to sort of bring in the concept that you had fans who were adults, but obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, it was an actual idea, interestingly, that they were going to at one point have a dark concept as well. The G4 film, that was another idea. They had a lot of ideas for that. A lot of the ideas stemmed around a lot of dark stuff. I mean, they had ideas involving, Celestia having a brother. Like originally, the plot for the G4 film was that Celestia's brother was going to show up having like escaped imprisonment, and it was going to be a bit of a dark story. And Tempest was effectively going to be a mercenary. There was a lot of ideas in the earlier drafts that were a lot darker than normal for ponies, effectively. But yeah, in a lot of ways, I think it depends entirely on what the future of the franchise. I think depends entirely on what G5 story is, as we keep saying. Yeah, but yeah, Goosey Bear makes a good point. But said like earlier drafts for the G4 film would have been darker themes, which is quite interesting actually when you look into it.
Here's an interesting discussion that we can bring to the chat. I'll bring to the stream, should I say. Just seeing this article on Equestria Daily as well, so just give me a second and I'll share it in real time. Yep. So let's just have let me just get rid of that. There we go. So we've got this discussion one. And it says, now that Opaline has a dark castle, what do you think her goal is? So this is an interesting question. So today we finally got some very likely confirmation on our new Alicorn Overlord. We also know she has a full-on castle and it is probably evil. Evil castles tend to require evil plans. In this case, we don't know anything at all about that side of her. What do you think Queen/Princess Opaline's goal in future Equestria is she's not rocking a sky-based name like Twilight, Celestia, Luster Dawn, or Sunset Shimmer. So there's a good chance that she is not of that lineage, or maybe she is, and they just didn't feel like rocking the Celestia name this time. So that's an interesting discussion. So yeah, what do you think, chat? What do you think, Sam, on that one?
Well, at the end of the at the end of the Make a Mark special, obviously she first appears, and she is quoted stating about effectively like magic returning and how the ponies are like learning to use it again. So it's quite possible maybe she's been trapped, and she hasn't been able to leave the castle because of magic or lack of magic. The only thing I could assume is that whatever plan she may have would be linked into magic itself, whether it be plans for taking over or plans to bring somebody back or just general plans involving magic. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, the pony villains are always their reasons are always a bit elusive. Like Nightmare Moon, she aside from the deeper stuff, ultimately she wanted to bring nighttime eternal. Discord in a lot of ways was just a result of negative energy, really. But then you've got like Chrysalis. I mean, in a lot of ways, Chrysalis's plan was largely always linked into really keeping the changelings going. Really, in a lot of ways, like you can almost question Chrysalis's motives, but that's the thing for another time. But yeah, most of the villains in G4, their motives are usually have something to do with magic. So I would guess the G5 villain, again, motivation is related to magic. Whether it be magically bringing something in, doing something, cancelling something, taking over something, it will very likely be magic orientated.
Yeah, I mean, getting back on track with what Goosey Bear says there, and what you said about, the thing is with it possibly being a bit darker, that combination of dark and everything. The thing is with the way Friendship is Magic first started off, the first 3 seasons were more aimed at little girls because the concept of My Little Pony has always been more aimed at little girls. There's always been more girl friendly than boys, even though that when Friendship is Magic came out, they noticed there was a large percentage of young boys watching as well, which is why they started to change the format from season 4 onwards, where it started to kind of get a little bit darker, and they started to kind of put a lot of reference points in there from stuff that maybe girls, no, I won't say necessarily girls, but maybe certain young kids wouldn't really understand or know of. I mean, this kind of what I find interesting about my point with Friendship is Magic is like the first three seasons are very light-hearted, very light-hearted and cutesy, and you get a lot of songs, a lot of music, and it's very cutesy. We're ponies, we're talking ponies, we're singing ponies. That's the kind of essence you get from the first 2 or 3 seasons. It's not until like when you get like certain things like the aspects of like the opening 2-parter episodes and then the ending 2 episodes, now the finale episodes, when things start to get a little bit more mature in what was going on with the story. But obviously with Friendship is Magic, it took at least about, I would say, it took at least about 3 seasons, and then when they noticed there was a drastic change and there's a massive increase in quite a big percentage of young boys or men, and then they noticed there was an older demographic like us, the Bronies, for instance, that were watching it as well. So the thing is with G5 is bringing G5 into this, into my response to Goosey Bear there, is what I'm kind of interested in is how do we not know that maybe they may make it a little bit darker for G5. as it goes on. Because at the moment, for the movie, I thought even the movie was kind of comedy based. There wasn't any real evil intent in what happened in the movie for G5, the film. But yet it was kind of dark. You found out that Sunny, she lost her dad. She lost her mom. She's literally living on her own now. And she at the end of the movie, she loses her house. Obviously, that gets rebuilt, as you see in the special. It gets rebuilt, but she's gone through a lot of stuff, and for a kids show to go through the element of death potentially, we don't necessarily, is quite a. Forgive me for saying this, but a ballsy move, because a lot of shows do shy away from the concept of death, especially except for like Disney and Pixar, because they do it in a very clever and a very heartfelt way. They have a way of communicating and getting the point across with the like taboo sort of things that you don't really put in a kids show or kids film. So for G5, obviously for the movie, it was light-hearted. You're still sort of being introduced to these characters. They're brand new characters. It's a new world. It's a new generation, and the idea of the Friendship is Magic, of the main five from Friendship is Magic, they are now kind of known as like a legendary story. They're a legend that so much time has passed. So who's to know that with the arrival of Opaline, and this whole dark castle and dark stuff, possible dark magic, who's to know that this might start off, the first 8 episodes might not be very dark, or a majority of the first season might not be very dark. But bringing in a dark Alicorn kind of makes me think that it's going to go a little bit down a darker route as it goes on. That's just my thoughts on that. But again, it's too early to really tell that. Even though, in the past with MLP, they have, they have kind of, yeah, I'm kind of interested with that stuff. I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to go with it. I mean, you never know. I mean, so let's carry on. We've got Alpha in the chat now. so hello to you, Goosey Bear. Thank you for coming in. It's been a while. Thanks to you. And then Alpha, hello, Alpha. And then Goosey Bear comes in again with there was even a concept art back then for a sequel for to the first G4 film, by the way. Yeah, I remember that they were thinking of making a sequel to the G4 film. G4 Friendship Magic film, but didn't happen. One was even a story focused on Spike and his adventure, discovering a hidden city, for example. That'd be interesting.
I would have loved that. And if there's one character in G4 I always feel is so neglected, it's Spike. I mean,
yeah.
There's so much. There should have been so much more to his character. I still stand by my belief that Spike was meant to be a 7th element, and I stick by that belief because Sunset Shimmer is a 7th element. That's practically confirmed. And the fact that it was kind of hinting at Spike being a 7th element at one point, and I'd love to have seen something focusing purely on Spike, just to let him truly have his moment to shine. I forget the episode's name, but my all-time favorite episode, because it's Spike episode, is because it really, really gives Spike that chance to really shine as a character. Is the episode where Thorax is first introduced. Spike's really sticking up for this changeling and really sort of trying to be his friend and doing a lot for him. And that whole episode is brilliant, and it really, really is Spike's episode. Damn, it would have been great to have seen a film purely about Spike, but yeah, unfortunately, it never happened.
Yeah, it is a shame, man.
It's I think, one of the things really with G4 as a whole was that they never really they never really focused on Spike much as sort of outside of being, you know, a minor character. And in a lot of ways, he's more or less in almost every episode, I believe. But he's never really has his moment to shine. I mean, there are episodes where maybe he's heavily featured, but there aren't many episodes where he really has a chance to shine, where it's really his episode. I mean, I know they did the whole thing with the Crystal Kingdom, but in a lot of ways, that was never really Spike's episode. You know, he's just sort of last minute manages to catch the Crystal Heart. But in many ways, I always felt like Spike deserves more. You know, he really deserved so much more as a character, and he was never given it.
Yeah, that was true. It would have been very nice to have seen a little bit more involvement with Spike. I mean, obviously there was at the big, you know, you could see that they were working on something with Spike, and then they just kind of like brushed it under the carpet kind of thing. You know, they just thought, nah, we aren't going to go down that route anymore, because they were setting up a lot of interesting stuff, and it just never actually came through in the end, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, like, I know they did that episode with Spike, and well, he wasn't his dad. I mean, that dragon who sort of pretended to be his dad. I mean, they really shouldn't, and that wasn't really, in my opinion anyway, that wasn't really a smart thing to do. They should have done an episode where you generally found out where Spike's head came from, who his parents were, because it really is an unanswered question. You know, you don't know where the egg came from, how Celestia got the egg. You know, you don't know anything about his parents. It would have been so good to have had Spike have that episode where you really get to find out his origins.
Yeah.
But again, we never did. Another shame, really. Another thing that G4 could really have focused on a bit more.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we are going to be joined now by Alpha Swirl. He is now going to come in. Hey, Alpha.
What's up?
How are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. How about you?
Not bad. Not bad. The weather is cooling off at last. It's finally getting cooler over here for us. So we're finally coming into autumn. So it's getting cooler.
Cool.
So yeah, I don't know if you want to get involved in that. What Ghosty Bear said in regards to the whole concept of the well, I got that one of like dark themes that apparently imagine dark, like a dark combination in the new G5 series. What would you think about that?
I honestly don't know. Like, having a dark theme, like, it's really not something that is up to my standards. But if this goes all well, I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna actually attract more kids into this. But I just hope that, like, I'm not really too sure if what I say dark is kind of something that I would like to see, though. Like, I want to see it and to see how it goes. But if it doesn't go well, I'm just gonna immediately go off. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, end of the day, it is an animated series, you know, of ponies, and I mean, like I was saying about Friendship is Magic, it did start to go a little bit darker as it got on, as the seasons went on, and they kind of like with the G5 movie, for instance, they went into the territory of her losing her dad and her mum. You know, they are both missing. You don't know much about her mum, but you know, her dad was there at the beginning of the film when she was a little filly, but he's potentially has passed away or something's happened to him. Mm-hmm. So in order for them to go into the territory of death, possibly, it makes me wonder, and bringing in a dark Alucon character with this Opaline, who's got a dark castle, potential dark magic user. So I'm wondering if we're going to kind of get a character that's similar to like Chrysalis, or if she's going to be somehow a descendant to Celestia and Luna in somewhere. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I mean, she has kind of got a similar color to Luna.
Yeah, I think some sort of, but the problem is we don't even know her backstory. We don't even know what her parents were, like how did she became like this, or anything. But like there has to be something. Like how did she become an Alicorn in the first place? Like how did she just turn from good to evil at the same time? We just don't even know. But I think somewhere in the series, I think they will give us a brief story of what she was before then. Like what during the My Little Pony the movie, it told about the history behind Tempest, but her real name is Fizzlebot Berry Twist, if you don't know. Like you know that she was judged, so judging got her into things, while something like Luna, well actually it was jealousy, while well, Chrysalis, we don't even know her backstory. I really don't know. T-Rex, we do know that it was due to betrayal, but from his brother, because he had a brother one time. It was because he just got in trouble for what was going on. And I think all that. That's all. Wait, hold on a second. I'll be back.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Interesting.
I think in a lot of ways, I like the idea of a dark theme, but obviously you've got to sort of look at it as to on the grounds of how would you do a dark theme on a series that's largely child friendly. I mean, some of the ideas he had for the G4 film were pretty dark. I mean, they had ideas like, for example, originally, I forget the name of it now, but that city they go to where they meet Kappa. Originally, that wasn't actually going to be a thing. Originally, they were going to come across a giant skeleton of a dragon, and there was going to be basically a load of new characters, that non-pony characters, mining its heart, because they went into this idea that dragons would effectively have like hearts that were made out of jewels, because they eat jewels, and they had this whole idea of coming across a dragon that was having its heart mined. Obviously, they didn't go with that because it was a bit too dark. I still really like the idea though of having Tempest as like a mercenary, effectively, who was actively tracking them. That just sounded, her original designs are quite interesting. And obviously, she eventually turned into the Storm King's sort of second in command. But before that, she was a mercenary who was ordered by Celestia's brother to go basically hunt down the main six.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame as well with Tempest, because obviously she's another character that she's brilliant in the movie, great character, but it's a shame that that was another missed opportunity, because
bringing her into G4.
Yeah, because there was originally going to bring her into G4 as a character into the series, past the film, but essentially did, but she never spoke. You know, she was in the end finale.
I don't, in a lot of ways, the way they did the final, I don't really class that or count that, because it was a bit of a cheap move on Hasbro's part.
Yeah.
You know, that they had all these characters show up in this mass thing at the end. It wasn't really the same. You know, it would have been nice, because originally, like, after the film and they went into season 6, I think, or season 7, I can't quite remember. And the map was updated and it had all the locations on it from the film. I was really hoping he'd go back to those locations. The only location it went back to was obviously Mount Ares, and obviously the Kingdom of the Crystal Ponies, and Sea Ponies, and obviously the Hippogriffs. But that was it. They never went back to the pirates. They never went back to where Kappa lived. You know, there was so much they could have done by incorporating the film's characters. They just never did it. And so it was a wasted opportunity on Hasbro's part. You know, they probably couldn't bring back the original voice cast for the characters, but they could have done something. It really felt like a wasted opportunity.
It did. And Goosey Bear's back saying, if only there was a moment at season 9 where Spike sacrificed himself or something, that would have be a very impactful for the fans. At least in my opinion, it's a wasted opportunity.
Interesting thought, Goosey Bear. Actually, the idea of a character sacrificing themselves for the greater good is something which I always quite like witnessing, especially in a lot of series. It really gives meaning to characters. But would it have been something that would have fit the narrative of MLP? Not well. I could say not really, but at the same time, yes, because Nightmare Moon being imprisoned in the moon. So Spike potentially sacrificed himself. You could do that, but maybe, for example, do it in a way where he's not, dead, but he's locked away somewhere or imprisoned somewhere. That'd be quite interesting. But yeah, good point to make.
Yeah. Is I mean, don't know what if you want to get in on that as well, Alpha. About what Goosey Bear's just said about in season 9, possible waste opportunity in his opinion about whether Spike sacrificed himself or something like. What would you think about if that was going to happen, or obviously it didn't, but
If that ever happened, if Spike actually sacrificed himself here, I will be really sad to see that. And because he's like one of the favorite dragons I have seen, though. Even though he's tough now, well, during the last episode of season 9, though, it will be really heartbreaking to see if he sacrificed himself.
Yeah. Well, it would be. I mean, it's one of those things is that a lot of shows do go down that road where a certain sought after character does kind of like sacrifice themselves for their friends or for a loved one or something like that. And it's like the whole thing with like Mufasa from The Lion King, it's kind of like his, Simba was in danger, so Mufasa did his thing, and he ended up getting killed as a result. But he did save his son's life. But it's kind of like a lot of shows and a lot of films have gone down that road, or that route. So it would have been. I don't know whether it would have worked for G4 for the series or not, but I mean, it would have been nice to have had a bit more development around Spike, because like as maybe I don't know if you are aware of this, Albert, but basically originally I think it was it season 3 or something. They went down the road. They were going. You could see they were kind of setting up something where he was potentially could have been another element bearer, because you kind of saw like there was like a green was it a green like a crystal or something that was like emanating in an episode where I think it was the episode where we grew up to be a giant, like that greed thing where we got real big. So it was kind of like they were obviously setting things up in regards to Spike, but for some reason I don't know whether it was due to money or whether Hasbro thought, no, let's just keep it to the main characters. At the end of the day, Spike is only a secondary character. So they didn't really want to bring Spike into the main characters spotlight. I don't know. But it would have been nice if we got a little bit more involvement with Spike. If it would have, there's a question to ask each of you. What if Spike did become an element bearer? What would your thoughts be on that?
What was it?
I would absolutely love him to become an element bearer. As I've said many times, I feel like that was the general direction they would have gone to. If it had become an element bearer, it would have made his character a lot more meaningful, more important to the series.
Yeah.
As well, probably would have eventually would have explained a lot about his origins, maybe. But yeah, I would have loved to see him as an element bearer, because I think it really would have given him so much more potential as a character.
What about you, Alpha?
I think being an element bearer, I think it would be so cool to see, even though that didn't happen. It will be really nice to see, though. But I think he should have been one, Because the logo of the friendship school, it actually doesn't contain the 6 elements of harmony. It actually contains 7. And I'm actually like, maybe that 7th element, I really just don't know, because it could either belong to Starlight or it could be on just Spike, though. It's just that I'm just not really too sure if it's something like that,
Yeah, because they did kind of change it, and obviously Starlight, she essentially became part of the main roster of characters later on. So I don't know whether that extra element of harmony, whatever, I don't know if it kind of got bestowed upon Starlight. It's essentially because obviously, Sunset Shimmer. She still is kind of canon to a certain degree to Friendship is Magic, the series, and obviously she's more of a character in Equestria Girls. But obviously, I think they wanted to go down because obviously Starlight Glimmer and Starlight Shimmer, they're practically the same character. Just their names have been very kind of not very cleverly, but kind of been changed to a degree. But I mean, I do like Starlight Glimmer. I do like her as a character and all, but it's kind of like I just found it very interesting. Just found it very interesting of what could have happened. It would have been nice if Spike did get more involvement, though.
I gotta laugh a bit because you actually said, instead of saying Starlight Glimmer, you said Starlight Shimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I actually kind of like all this, but it's just that the thing is, there is something that I also want this to go forward, and I'm not too sure, but if you all actually know, I love roller coasters. Yeah, I love roller coasters. Like I do, and I wish someday Hasbro can release a park that's themed to all of the franchises, including Bronies. I wish there was a coaster theme out to it. I wish that ever happened. I really wish.
I think there was some talk about like a theme park or something for MLP related stuff.
There's not actually there's only 2 things that I do know, that because I was looking all over the internet, and and yeah, so the first thing, Japan once had a friendship carnival themed to MLPG4. Like they had statues all around. You can able to meet the characters. So, oh my gosh, it looks so creepy, and it was a thing to see. Right, but today they actually do, like, there's actually a park called the Galaxyland West Edmonton Mall. It's changed to the Hasbro theme, so they have a couple of things themed to the most popular Hasbro what we called brands. And My Little Pony is actually in there with 2 rides that they have there. It's not a coaster, but they do have some. And one thing that I've heard from the works is there is a family water park that's opening. I think it's in Pigeon Forge in Tennessee. They're opening a Hasbro water park, it's kind of like a Hasbro kind of resort, and they will have, like, this is something I also wanted, a My Little Pony Generation 4 themed hotel room. A themed hotel room.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be incredible to see whenever that opens, but we have to wait a couple of years because it was used to actually open in 2023, but it's been delayed to 2025. So I can't wait to actually see this whenever it opens.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I think for Urusi Bear there, I know he likes Transformers. There's also a Transformers themed hotel room too, so that might get his attention.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Goosey Bear again says, going back to G5, I'm kind of wondering why Upperline was waiting for Magic to return, or why did she make ponies hate each other in the past, causing Twilight to create the crystals from the comics? Question. That's interesting. I mean, like I said, we don't know much about her backstory at the moment. You don't know what her background is. But I mean, obviously, I'm guessing she is of some sort of lineage of some kind of maybe Luna or something, or I don't know. But it's kind of interesting because obviously you see that there's another new character that seems to be with Opaline, and then she's in other pictures of with the main characters, the main characters. So it's kind of like what's she about? What is she about? Because obviously she's obviously a dark character, maybe dark magic user. It's definitely going to be interesting. Of what I mean, I don't know whether like obviously the magic did disappear. Was she the cause of the magic disappearing, or was with the magic finally coming back? Did with the magic finally coming back, for instance, does that mean that maybe she reawoke, or whether she just thought? Because obviously, as you saw in the special, she seemed to be kind of observing them through like a looking glass. So whether she's been watching them from afar for a little bit, and whether she's kind of been experimenting with like taking the magic away and bringing the magic back. Maybe she has the ability somehow to take the magic away from a user. I don't know. We just don't know yet, do we? What do you think, Sam?
I think definitely the fact that we're going to get to see potentially a dark Alicorn, for any better word, is going to put a lot of interesting stuff on G5 as a series. I think there'll be a lot of questions, obviously, about her origins, how she came into being, whether she's connected to any of the other Alicorn characters from G4. As for what her reasons are, as I've said, I think it's definitely magic related. I can't really exactly say what, because I think there's just too much to focus on. But I generally think she's going to be a character with a lot of potential. I think that potential is going to be interesting to see.
What do you think, Alpha? What's your thoughts on this dark Alicorn character?
I'm not really personally sure. I really don't mind the design, even though some people kind of like think about the color palette that they actually use or the color scheme. It really doesn't look that good. Like I'm being honest, like it doesn't look that good, but I don't mind that at the same time. But what I'm saying here is, the thing is, I really don't mind her at all. Like she's fine, but we just don't even know. Like I said, we don't even know backstory or anything. But let me just say, I think I might know that back in the day when she will, like, that Alicorns are actually immortal. So they're immortal, and so there's literally no way Twilight has died yet. Like no way. There's literally no way. And so the back in the day, during Twilight's reign, she Opaline herself, she was like her kind of like Celestia was like 10,000 years old when she taught Twilight, and she became an Alicorn just like that. Well, not only she did that with with Twilight actually teaching what was her name? I think it's
Luster Dawn.
Yeah, Luster Dawn. I think Luster Dawn became Princess of Rote too, because we don't it hasn't been confirmed, but also she also kind of Twilight also taught Opaline herself during thousands of years later, and after that, then it just maybe she was trying to teach, like she was trying to kind of like get used to all the things during the School of Magic, but unfortunately she wasn't able to do that good. So she took matters into her own hands. I didn't want to say hands because she's a horse. No, I'm kidding. And she immediately started to become evil just like that. So she found a way of magic to actually turn an Alicorn into herself, and actually just became evil just like that. And she just ran away, built a new castle of her own, and then never was able in sight again. That is my theory. That's where she was.
Yeah, maybe. I'll say Goosey Bear. He's saying at Alpha Swirl, nice to see you again, man.
Yeah.
Been a while for all of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then he says at Alpha Transformers theme park. So
Sold. Yeah, that's actually gonna happen. Well, not Transformers related, but just as in Transformers, just with the rest of the Hasbro brands. Yeah, it's just something.
yeah, so we've got another one saying that's at all of us. So they should introduce some sort of hidden Alicon city. That would be interesting because, you know, it can't, obviously the whole Alicon thing, they came from somewhere. So it would be kind of interesting whether, you know, because I'm also kind of interested about them as well. I haven't mentioned this yet, but of the whole idea of introducing a baby dragon again in G5. What's that significant about? I mean, will he be called Spike again? Or whether it's going to be named something else? Whether they're going to kind of maybe they understood that they messed up with Spike's character in G4 a little bit. They didn't really whether they're going to do something different with this Spike. Maybe the reason why this baby dragon has come into them and is part of it is being looked after from the main characters. Might he have some sort of magic ability? Well, he will be magic. I will have some magic. But will he somehow be able to? Will he actually become a main character instead of a secondary character? That'd be interesting. But yeah, so he wanted to say something, Sam. He kind of
with Alicorns, I don't know if either of yourselves have read it, but there's a book called The Journey of the Two Sisters, which is about Luna and Celestia. And I can't recall whether or not it's officially classed as canon or not, but in that book, it is implied that Alicorns come from a different land, that they're not from Equestria.
What?
So in this book, it starts out with Celestia and Luna first appearing in Equestria, and you kind of learn that they are from a different land, that they travel to Equestria for reasons that aren't really explained. But it's implied that Alicorns, there's effectively a land or a country or something out there where Alicorns actually all live. So, to be fair, it's a good point. I mean, Goosey Bear has said, we never know. Maybe G5, we might actually learn the origins of Alicorns.
Yeah, who knows? It would be cool to get a little bit more of a backstory on them because we only know that obviously Luna and Celestia are supposed to be thousands and thousands and thousands of years old, and when they defeated Discord, that was over a good 1,000 or so years ago. And so, I mean, to be honest, I mean, what you said, Alpha, about Twilight. See, she essentially should be alive because she is a fully fledged Alicorn now. But it's kind of what makes me interested is, has the magic been lost all over Equestria, or was it just affected Maytime Bay area where this evil one seems to be? Because obviously there is different areas. Obviously you've got the Earth ponies kind of live together. Then they don't seem to intermingle with one another because of this. They kind of don't trust each other. This kind of thing going on there. But now the magic's back. Do you think that the magic leaving was just affected for their area, or was the magic still there for everywhere else? Because it's making me wonder that this Dark Alicorn has some sort of ability where she's able to take it away and bring it back. That's just my thought. That's just a theory on my part. But I would definitely be interested in some sort of hidden Alicorn city. That would be definitely interesting. Definitely. Goosey Bear again says, but I think it's kind of too late for that for G5 now. Should have done the Alicorn / Hidden City arc in G4 movie or something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously they were going down the whole Alicorn thing, like Twilight. She slowly turned into an Alicorn and then took over the reigns from Celestia and Luna at the end. So it would have probably made sense because they were certainly working on certain aspects with G4. They were working on certain things that they just never actually got to finish. Because originally it was going to be 10 seasons. There was going to be a 10th animated season, which would have been the final one. But we only got 9. But then we've got the comic book series, which the comic book is actually, which is named as season 10. It is actually kind of canon still. But what's interesting with the season 10 is, the comic book season 10, is that they've gone back to their, before the end. It's kind of as if it's gone back a little bit in time to when there was just, the Twilight we all know before she becomes real tall and a bit like Celestia. So, yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have got some more explanation on the whole Alarcon thing, but G5, I think it's a perfect thing. It's a clean slate now. So things that maybe Hasbro have had a thought that, yeah, we kind of screwed up a little bit there. Maybe this is a new generation. This is a chance for us to even though it's still connected and canonized, it's still canon to a degree to Friendship Magic as well. So maybe going forward, maybe G5, maybe we might get a little bit more lore. Maybe a little bit more lore, more backstory on the Alarcon race, where the magic all came from to begin with, and all that kind of stuff. You don't know. There's a lot of potential for story. Then I'm hoping that maybe they'll try and do that a little bit for G5.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyone else want to add anything to that? Or Sam's rubbing his chin, so we're about to get a mind blown thing here, I think.
Well, so now we come to this. I just don't know for a second though, because let me just be first off. I just hope G5 actually does well. Like, I'm just saying, like, I hope it does well. Like, I hope it does. Because I'm actually known as one of the new generation bronies. I know I came into the fandom in 2020 during the COVID period. But the thing is, I really hope it does well. Like what you see in G4, yeah. Like when it first came out, a lot of people started buying the toys, like everything. Like it was mostly focusing on the brand, but yeah, I just hope it does well because I love it so much that I actually started to decorate it with Generation 5 stuff, which I know I get it, but I'm gonna decorate it with Gen 4 stuff too. I just hope it does well.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I'm still open-minded about it. I mean, I think it's a bit too. I think it's a bit too early to really bring down. I mean, it's one of those things. Is that Friendship Magic was that, and it was good. It was special. It got a lot of interesting, like a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of musicians, a lot of artists. It inspired a lot of people. It did a really good job of that. And it was a great show to watch. It was visually beautiful. The writing, to a certain degree, was good as well. There was a lot of care and attention there. But with this new series, a lot of people are comparing it to Friendship is Magic, and you can't because it's a new element. It's a new series, a whole new bunch of characters. Even though it is associated Friendship is Magic, but it's a whole new thing. Yeah. So, to be honest, it would be cool if we kind of got some like maybe if I don't know if we'll ever see Twilight again, but as with you, Alpha, saying that she is an immortal being, she could easily come back, and she probably doesn't. She probably hasn't aged a day because obviously it's kind of like look at Luna and Celestia, for instance. They're very ancient beings, but yet they look like they're in their 20s. They look really young. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because obviously there's been like a lot of things. There's like artifacts and things being found in the background, like theory that Discord is dead because they kind of saw like a bit of like a bent horn that looks like it was maybe one of Discord's horns. But then Sam said earlier on about possibly that this Discord could be alive, even though in Discord he's an interdimensional being. So I don't think you could kind of kill him. You could imprison him, like like they did, where they kind of imprisoned him in stone for so long. But he eventually broke free because of the arguments between the main four or the main five or whatever. So there's potential though with the magic back. So he could come back, and obviously he was with Fluttershy as a relationship, as you saw at the end of season 9. So potentially, we could have at least Twilight come up. I don't think she'll come up yet. I think they might wait for that. If this show does well enough, and we see all 23 episodes, because we're only getting the first 8 on release day. So once we finally get all 23 episodes and see where things are going and what these potential 4 specials are as well, because they're 45 minutes each, these specials, rather than just half an hour. So 2 of them I think will be holiday related, which one I believe they mentioned one's a Halloween one and one will be a Christmas one. So there's 2 more there, 45-minute ones, whether they're going to be canon to the main story, or whether they're going to set up something, or maybe, I don't know, because it would be perfect. A special would be perfect to bring in a character like Twilight or Discord, because you've got more airtime, you've got more runtime, so you could probably unpack a lot more in a special than an episode, in my opinion, a single episode. So, I know what they've got planned. I mean, I think it'll be too soon to bring Twilight into it. I think it'll be too soon to bring Discord into it. But hopefully they'll have more than one season. Oops, I brought that in by accident. Hopefully they'll, there'll be more than just one season, more than 23 episodes. And hopefully, if it does well, and I think it will, I've got faith in it to a degree. But anything else anyone want to add to that?
Yeah, I just hope they actually continue with the Gen 5 and on. Like, whatever what happened with Generation 4, yeah, it actually lasted for 9 years. Like what Generation 1 did, I think it happened for, I don't know how many years it did, but I know it was over a decade or something. But I just hope that, like, what happened to Generation 2 and 3, I just like they only lasted for a few short years. I just hope that Generation 5 does not be like that, because I just hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we've already got the feel and the tempo of what the characters are like, and what potentially going forward will be like. I mean, with G5, I'm still getting an essence of Friendship is Magic in the way that it comes over. Certain characters seem to kind of have a similarity to the characters from Friendship is Magic. So I get a feel of Friendship is Magic. So I don't think it's going to be anything like G2 or G1 or G3, for instance. You can tell it isn't going to be as primitive or as boring, if you want to say, as the first three generations of the show. Even though G3 wasn't really a series, I think it was just like a load of specials. I think they just did like a load of like 45-minute specials. It wasn't really a series.
And it sucked.
Yeah, they all sucked. I mean, I remember watching an episode of G3 version of Rainbow Dash, and I was just like, holy shit, what did you do?
What happened to you?
Yeah, she was posh. She was like a posh British accent, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's why G3 is terrible. G3.5 is even worse.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be pretty damn cool, because what I would like as well, and I'm kind of going on a completely different thing here, but Netflix have the possibility to bring in anybody in the cast when it comes to voice actors. And there's been at least 2 voice actors, maybe 3 at a push, that have actually been in previous generations past G4 as well. Kathy Wesseluk, who played Spike in G4, she also played a pony character in, I think, G2 or G3. And then the woman who voices Rarity, she also was in previous generations of MLP as well. So it would be nice to kind of, even though they're not going to reprise their role of Rarity or Spike, because obviously their characters are no longer in the series anymore because, you know, time's passed. But it would be nice to get them back as a little nod. It would be nice because there's that connection there. You've got cast that was some cast members that were a part of the early stuff that were also voicing characters in G4. It would be nice in G5 if they're bringing in new characters and more characters. If we've got the return of like Kathy or Tabitha St. Germain as well, or even Tara Strong, or I don't think we'll get Tara Strong because she's a bit too expensive. But we might even I'd be happy with Ashley Ball, bring her back as a character. Because obviously she knows she plays the 20% cooler, the best character in Friendship is Magic, in my opinion. Better than Luna. Sorry, Sam. You was about to say something there. What does Luna do exactly? She sings one song and she just kind of sits and does nothing and moans all day and enters dreams.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she really doesn't get that much credit though. Because she only goes into Pony's dreams in case if they have a nightmare. She just goes and just helps them. Yeah, it's kind of sad. She doesn't get that much credit.
Yeah,
that's why she became the moon in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with the woman who as well to come back, who voiced Sunset Shimmer. You know, any of the cast from the previous series, whether they're part of Equestria Girls or Ponies or whatever. A previous MLP series. It would be nice to see if they would come back to do like an additional pony, like maybe even if it's just like a cameo or something like that. Like, you know, you might be I don't know, do like a character that looks a little bit like Rarity. It isn't Rarity, but kind of get Tabitha into it to voice the character. I don't know. I mean, there's much potential. Like they could like add to the voice cast, and it would be nice because, like I said, there's that connection there. From G2 right through to G4, with the kind of for the movie, you know, we got Tara Strong and a couple of others back because they did that little thing where you saw the characters from Friendship is Magic in that little dream state thing. You saw that, so essentially they did kind of bring them back, but it would be nice to see if they would potentially would offer them a role of a different character, because those they have actually been in multiple generations. So that's just my opinion on that. I mean, what would you like? What voice actor would you like to potentially see come back in to voice a character in G5?
I think I'd like to see all of them, like the whole cast come back at some point. Whether it be to just do background characters or just a one-off in an episode, or even just to come back and play the G4 characters, maybe just in like a flashback thing. It'd be nice to see them do that. I mean, they technically did that in the G5 film, obviously, because they had that at the beginning bit where you actually had the main 6 show up and they were all voiced by their voice actors. So they did technically do that. But I'd like to see it again, but more in the way of being an actual main event in an episode, like linking in G4 to G5. That'd just be great to see.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it'd be very difficult to get Tara Strong because, I mean, Tara Strong's very, very sought after. She's in a lot of stuff and she's in demand. So, I mean, it's like they got Phil Lamar for the movie, who voiced that old guy that does those games where, where they have to kind of like do like a dance battle on that dance resolution thing.
You mean Revolution?
Sorry?
You mean Dance Revolution?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, that character. So basically, they've got Phil Lamar in there, but he's an A-list voice actor, so he didn't come back. So a lot of the voice actors that they got for the movie have all been replaced. All been different actors playing them. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see Tara Strong, but it'd be very, very. I mean, obviously they got her back for the movie, because obviously for the movie they must have had a bigger budget to be able to expand the voice cast a bit. But for the series, obviously they've gone with like much newer actors. I don't know any of them. I really don't recognize any of them that are voicing the cast at the moment. For the YouTube web series and for the special and for the series that starts in September, they're completely different cast actors. But it would be nice to get like Tabitha St. Germain back, because obviously she's brilliant. It would be great to get Ashley Ball back, because obviously Ashley Ball has worked on other stuff for Netflix, other animated stuff. She did a show called I've forgotten the name of it now. But anyways, but she has actually done some stuff in association with Netflix in animation, so they could easily get her back. But who knows? We'll just wait and see. I mean, I'd be happy for some more flashbacks. Like maybe like Sunny is maybe kind of like asleep or something, and she's kind of dreaming, and you kind of see like Twilight or a couple of characters pop up in her head or something. It'd be kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just nice. Like, I don't know. Like, what was that show that you're thinking of? Like, can you give me like a little description of it?
Just give me a second. I'll try and remember it.
Does it start with an L?
No.
No.
Where's Netflix? Let's find it. Netflix. That's it. The Hollow, it's called. Yeah, it's only 2 seasons. There supposedly was supposed to be a third season, but it looks like Netflix aren't renewing it. But it's a good series. But it follows 3 teens join forces to find their way home after waking up in a strange realm filled with magic portals, perplexing puzzles, and various different things like that. So, but Ashley Ball, she plays the female character, the main 3 characters. But it's an interesting series. It's kind of basically, it's like they get brought into this like game environment. It's like an alternate reality, and these 3 characters are trying to find their way back home and everything. But Ashley Ball, she plays the main female character of the main characters. Mm-hmm. It is a good series. It's a shame it's not going to go on past season 2, though, unfortunately.
No, it's unfortunate.
But that's Netflix. For some reason, Netflix don't advertise certain stuff properly. I mean, I found it just by chance. It's a good series, though. What are we with the chat? Here we go. Goosey Bear at Alpha Swirl, he says 2 years of Brony, rookie.
Yeah, like even though I just became a Brony 2 years ago, I still know everything French's Magic. Even though I watched all 9 seasons, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of a joke. Yeah, I know. I'm just going to the fandom out of curiosity. So.
To be honest, I mean, how I got into it was through curiosity. I mean, Sam, it was watching maybe a good year before I even picked the show up, and it was literally just one episode in particular that tickled my interest, and it was the episode where Spike is eating all those gems. I believe it was a season 2 episode, and he's eating those gems and he's trying to make a cake for Rarity. And he just keeps eating the gems. And that was the first episode that I watched out of complete context. And then I kind of watched that whole episode and I thought, I quite like that. So I went right back to the episode for season 1 and just started watching all the way through. And I've never looked back since. But yeah, it's curiosity. I mean, that goes for everything. I mean, when you see something, you think, at first you think, I don't know whether I like that, but then you put an episode on, and you're like, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. And then you just keep watching. I think Gilsey Bear says Tara Strong is like Peter Cullen of MLP. Her voice is so iconic, even I could recognise her voice in Loki 1 second after. Yeah, I knew it was her. I knew it was her. She plays that little animated clock thing in Loki. I've forgotten the name. Then Gilsey again says at Bronies UK, I doubt they are bringing back any G4 related flashbacks. G4 is done. They mostly moved all the G4 elements for the comics. What we wish to see, anyways. Why animate it? Fair point. I mean, I don't think we will see any. I don't think we'll see any more flashbacks. I was just saying that maybe for a joke, maybe if they just did it.
You never know. I'd love to see them, but it's probably right. Yeah, Juicy Bear's got a point.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is I'm just saying that it would be nice to see like Kathy Wesselook or Tabitha St. Germain or Ashley Ball or any of the previous cast. They're still active voice actors. They're still actors. So it would be nice to see if they would be actually on the voice sheet of voicing a different character, because that would be a nice little nod. And we can get them back again at conventions. You know, they're still in MLP in some capacity. I mean, they're still going to conventions because of the work they did for G4. But yeah, with this being G5, for instance, it would be nice to kind of see them come back, and that's another pony that they've got to the resume kind of thing. It would be nice to kind of see them. You know, it kind of brings the G4 and G5 together in some way through the voice cast as well. So, but yeah, fair point. And then Q-Space says again, like Discord, introduction, for example, or when Twilight creates the crystals, or when the main 5 discovered Canterlot, G4 is done in G5. Yep, true. Very true. Now we've just got Purple Cool. It says, who else here loves lean? I think we've got...
what are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm going to block. I think, yeah. It's getting to that point of the night now. We're going to start getting trolling. Unfortunately. But yeah, so I mean, I'm very much looking forward to what potentially could happen. I mean, the movie did well. It brought in like yourself, for instance. You're one of the new generation of the fan base. It brought in some. It piqued the interest of new people that have probably never watched Friendship is Magic, and it also kind of fans of Friendship is Magic that were there from 2010 onward. It even piqued their interests as well. I mean, yeah, there was the odd couple of fans that went too convinced of the 3D animation. They would have preferred it to be 2D like Friendship is Magic was. But yeah, after seeing the quality of the CGI for the movie, people got a lot more like, oh, this is like Pixar. This is nice. But then obviously the special came. It was a different animation studio that actually animated the special. And it wasn't as polished and it wasn't as nice, and that turned a few people away from that. But yeah, going forward for this main series, it's meant to be another different studio animating the main series. From looking at the screen caps we've been given of the characters for the upcoming series in September, for the 8 episodes we're going to get straight off, it looks like the animation does seem to have improved a little bit. Like Sam said earlier on in the stream that he thought, I did as well, that we both thought that the expressions were a bit dead. They didn't seem to have much expression, which I do agree. They didn't seem to have much expression. But to be honest with you, looking at the new stills for the upcoming series, the main series, it does look that they've got more emotion, that they're emoting more through the face, and it does look a little bit more polished. The characters look a bit cleaner, but like I said, they'll still be working on it right up until streaming starts. So, I mean, to be honest, I think all the characters look cool. I mean, I still love my Izzy. I think she's brilliant. She's definitely the best one. Obviously, Sam has to go for the main character, bloody Bookworm. I'm really joking. But no, I mean, I do love those characters. But Izzy, I just love Izzy. She's like a combination of Pinkie Pie and like a Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy in a way. She's kind of like that combination where you got that. She's like Pinkie Pie, where she's very energetic. She's like the G5 Pinkie Pie in a way. But I just love her. I just absolutely love her. So in the movie, you know, when she first comes in, she's just like, "Hi, new friend." And just like straight away, I love you.
Yeah.
Goosey Bear again. G5 is beginning to turn like the MCU. So many multiple shows from different studios in one timeline. yeah. There's like because I thought I would have been better if E1 actually produced the series, actually animated it, because E1 they've got some brilliant animators that work for them. But for some reason, they've gone through like third party means. So like, I think one of them one animation studio they work with is actually based in Ireland here in the UK. But to be honest, I mean, I'm very much looking forward to what's in store. I mean, I think the main thing that's piquing my interest is this new Dark Alicorn. I'm very much looking forward to seeing exactly who she is, and this new character that seems to be hanging around with her and the main characters as well. That's certainly interesting. I mean, I thought maybe I know this is speculation on my part, but this new character that's coming into the shots that we showed earlier, I thought maybe she could be her daughter. But her coat is, well, essentially, obviously, it takes two to make a baby, obviously. So you don't know whether the male pony that was with this evil with Opaline at the time might have had a lighter coat. You don't know, do you? but it's just one of those things. Is that I thought maybe it was maybe it could be her daughter, or she's maybe like a little bit like Twilight with Celestia. Maybe maybe she was an orphan, or maybe she was a character that she found, and she had, obviously with the horn and everything, she had abilities. So maybe she took her under her wing, so to speak, and who knows? But again, we won't know until we start watching, I guess. But seeing her with Opaline and then with Pip and Zip and everybody, it makes me wonder as if maybe she's kind of like a spy sent to befriend them, to get more information on these characters, because obviously she has been spying on them through that looking glass, as we saw in the special. So, who knows, I guess. Time will tell. Goosey Bear.
No, in response to Goosey Bear, it won't be the first time we'll be witnessing a Dark Alicorn. Obviously, Nightmare Moon being born and Sombra. No, Sombra wasn't Alicorn, sorry, it's a unicorn. But no, it won't be the first time we've witnessed a Dark Alicorn, which I think is why there's so much interest in the character, because she's obviously going to be around for a while, so we'll get to see more of her than we did for Nightmare Moon, who was only in it for really one episode. Well, two, technically.
Well, yeah, because obviously we got Nightmare Moon, and then we saw the whole essentially the dark evil side of Celestia and Luna as well, didn't we? Well, Luna is, Luna. And then obviously, obviously we got the evil version of Twilight as well, but that was more the Equestria Gal side, wasn't it?
Mm.
So we've always had that dark element side of magic, like when magic gets corrupted or has been used in a dishonest way, it will change, and it could completely have different circumstances. So I do like that they're going down that road, and I do like that idea personally. But yeah, I mean, but I'm definitely interested in her. Goosey Bear, as I said again, but I can't get my words out. By the way, what are your thoughts on Earth ponies having magical abilities?
That's actually good. First, I don't know, because I think during the, like, I know that all of y'all know the movie itself, but during the end credits, the when the Earth Pony was just kind of like it was adorable when they were running. It showed magic hooves come out of it. So that was a little bit of a tease of the Mickey Mouse series, and that our parties they can have magic now, because
Yeah.
all I know is that our parties have the ability to actually grow like plants, flowers, all that. That's what
Yeah.
I do know.
More like kind of like earth-based magic, where they're able to kind of like conjure plants or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I don't have a problem with them having magic abilities, which is it does make it a little bit different to Friendship is Magic in that respect, because the Earth ponies were just Earth ponies. They worked on the farms, they worked on gathering food, things of that nature. Or they worked on like stalls or shops. You know, they kind of like owned businesses, like Rarity, for instance. You know, well, not Rarity, but you know what I mean. That they kind of like they did the kind of a different thing. But then obviously the magic users, you know, like the alicorns and the unicorns and so on, or the Pegasi, whatever. So you know, they obviously had the magic, and they was able to kind of use it as a like Trixie, for instance, trying to be a magician, trying and failing. But what do you think, Sam? What are your thoughts on Earth Ponies having magic ability?
It's an interesting addition to the franchise. Obviously, it gives ponies a bit more character and development. I think in a lot of ways what they've done makes sense. That from what we can tell, it's largely earth-based. They can obviously manipulate nature.
Yeah.
So the question to ask really would be, why didn't the Earth ponies have that ability in G4? Because realistically, that could be like a huge plot hole if they don't explain it properly.
Potentially. I mean, hopefully the writers that are working on it. I mean, obviously they're working with like, you know, people that are working on behind the scenes, like the character designs, for instance, for the character for G5 was created by a fan artist that's in the fan base, which I believe was Imalu, I think.
It's Imalu, yeah.
Imalu, yeah. So she was actually the character designer that did Sunny and Izzy and everybody. So they're obviously the people behind this that are producing this obviously do understand the significance of how good or how well received Friendship is Magic was, and the fact that it had such a broad fan base watching it, where they had obviously it was made intentionally for kids or specifically for kids. That was the main thing. It's a kids show, fine. I accept that, but the fact that when they found out that boys are what a big percentage of young boys were watching it as well as little girls, that's when they started to change it towards more a mixture of things where they kind of kept it a little girly, but then they kind of put elements in there where lads would enjoy it, or little lads or whatever, and then when it started getting in, the whole brony thing started to start up. Which was around season 3 time, I believe, 2 or 3, when that started to really kick in. And then when the whole brony thing came along, and they're saying that people in their late teens, 20s, 30s are watching this, that's when they started putting in things like Doctor Who references. And in the G5 movie, for instance, had the movie posters for like Alien or for Jaws and that. A lot of kids of about 5 or 6 aren't going to know what Jaws is. So you can still see that they are trying to emulate the feeling of Friendship is Magic by trying to still keep that broad spectrum fan base there by putting little things in there that only certain people will know or certain age group will know about. So I've got faith in it. I mean, I think it's a bit too early to really to kind of brush it off. I mean, you can't let a teaser that was not as polished animation wise, you know, completely leave a complete bad taste in your mouth. You can't just do that. I mean, end of the day, the movie did a good job with bringing in new fans and new fans and older fans or fans from 2010 or whatever. You know, generally both enjoyed it, that movie, and it got a lot of people quite kind of interested. I mean, a lot of the big YouTubers in the MLP space Like Dr. Wolf, for instance, they loved it when they reviewed it. They really enjoyed it. And they're saying, looking forward to seeing what they've got in store for this. And then when the teaser came out, not as much. But there's still interest there. I I need to watch more of this YouTube series that Make Your Mark or Tell Your Tale, whatever it is. I need to watch more of that because like 20 odd episodes of it so far. It's about 24 episodes. So I've only watched about 3 or 4 of them. So I've got about 20 episodes to watch of that. So, but I watched the episodes I watched of that. I thought was okay. Obviously, that's more kiddified, obviously, and it's not really following the main story as much. It's its own thing. Even though I wasn't a big fan of is it Ponytail or whatever it was for
Ponytails, yeah.
Pony Life.
Pony Life, thank you.
Yeah, it did not do so well.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I watched like one episode when it was on a channel here in the UK, and I watched like one episode and I was like, oh my God, what did you do? Yeah, this just isn't good. So I never watched it past that. But the G5 one, it's still not as good, but it's a little bit better. It's got more element to it. They're not just chibified in a room, or they just all the episodes just seem to be self-contained to a like Rarity's room or Twilight's book chambers, or they just seem to be kind of like just they didn't seem to do much. They just seem to be in one space at any one time. But with the G5 one, they seem to be doing stuff like doing games, and they're all fully animated as well. They're 2D, but they're fully animated. They're not chibi, like little like big head, small bodies. They're not like that, like with Pony Life. They're fully animated, but they're 2D animated. Even though the animation style isn't as good, because it looks like I've drawn it, to be quite honest. The quality is not very good. But, yeah. But, end of the day, that is more centered to kids. And then the main story is going to be more broader, hopefully more of a broader appeal. Hopefully.
I really hope so.
Yeah. And then Goosey Bear says, Zip, we can invent our own magic. That'd be cool. If you can kind of just like think it and it'll happen. If I had the ability to kind of like invent my own magic abilities, I'd be like the Green Lantern. I'd be like, minigun time.
Damn, miniguns.
That'd be funny. You just kind of just get this big like green minigun just comes out of nowhere, and all the bad guys are like, "Okay, I'm out. We won." Then Chris Bear again says, "I'm curious. Imagine if you three were sent back in time to replaced." The writing staff for G5. How would you change the story? No need to answer if it's difficult. Bloody hell. How about you, Sam? You're the writer bookworm. We haven't really seen much of G5 yet to really make an opinion on that, really. It's just a movie and the special, isn't it?
Oh, how would I change a story for G5? I don't know. From a G5 film, from that perspective, I don't think I'd change anything, because in its own right, the G5 film is fine. It works, story-wise, it works. To be honest, I think what I would maybe change for the Make Your Mark special, I'd have Discord show up.
Yeah.
Magic returning, I'd have Discord make an appearance. That's probably the only thing I'd change. Obviously, apart from that, not much else I can think of. Again, it's a bit too early to really think about that. But I think the only thing I'd do is put Discord into Make Your Mark, because it would just make sense to have him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Spare says as well, Maud Pie could easily change the script for G5 if she wanted to.
Yeah, Maud.
How about Pinkamena version? Woohoo!
Oh no. What a mean. Okay. Okay. So should we do like a little bit of MLP trivia, maybe something? Because we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, can do. Why not? So, anyone, there's only like one person watching, which I think is Goosey Bear. But, Goosey Bear, if you can think of any questions, or if anyone can think of anyone like Sam or Alpha, and we'll try and answer them. A bit of trivia, a bit of fun. Why not?
Oh, I actually just do want to pull up I'm going to share my screen for a second. Because I'm sharing Roblox right now. I do have a part that actually has a couple of My Little Pony coasters in there.
Sweet.
Yeah, I will show it. Hold on. Like, just let me know if my screen is lagging or something.
Look.
All right, we're good. So this is it. It's not much. If you don't know, I actually have a little bit of a Rainbow Dash shirt on.
I can't see anything on my side. It seems to be just white.
Wait, it's white?
It's just like a white screen.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me try again. Whoa! Okay, I gotta stop. Gosh. Yes, according to my end, it's I don't know what's going on. What do you mean it's white?
It was just like a white screen. There was nothing there.
I
mean, I'm seeing this, like the browser and everything.
But if I click off the browser, you don't see anything?
Oh, I'm seeing it now. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I was saying, I actually have this little Rainbow Dash shirt on.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a shirt. And I recently kind of added some of the things here. Let me put the free cam. I have 3 coasters themed to 3 of the characters. So if you can see one at the front, you got this is Magical Flyer, which is this one. It's this little thing here that's in the front there. You also got Zipstone Flyer, which is the flying coaster, which can move. So right here, it's in this little building or whatever. And also Stars Gap, which is way over here.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so it's just way over there. And so I just so this is something that I made. It's for this little building here. It's just for it actually just represents the and so it actually represents all of the main 5 and everything. And this is actually based off something. It's called, I made this my own, the Several Heights Flying Academy. So this is kind of like based off the Flying Academy. I know there's no Flying Academy at Several Heights, but I bet they're actually building one right now. Like if it was real. This little place, and it just wanders all around. Is my screen kind of laggy or something? I just want to know.
Yeah, it's fine. Right.
It's all right.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, all right, nice. So yeah, you also got it's just a little family coaster. It's just in this building right over here. It's just a little bit of a bird's eye view of the whole thing. All this is supposed to be Several Heights, right over here. But Star Scout is in a different location because I didn't have enough space to transfer from here to there. So I just kept it the way it is. And yeah, I do have these every point of view videos of these coasters on my channel. So I will actually kind of post a link to each one of them so you can go take a look for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm saying all that. And this, I actually wanted to create a park that actually has my interests of coasters. It has a total of 15. Yeah, it's actually this park is it's like a gem to me. It just actually I do putting a My Little Pony themed coaster. Because I have never seen a single person during the time create a My Little Pony themed coaster. But there was one person by the song name like who did Star Scout, which is a different kind of coaster, but this one's a lot more different. But I just created these kind of things. So yeah, I would just go.
Sweet.
That is a nicely put together theme park.
Yeah, it's really nice to actually kind of
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
No, it's Theme Park Tycoon 2 Roblox.
Yeah, I'm familiar with your work on YouTube. I've seen a few of your videos.
Yeah.
I do quite like games where you can build stuff. So you've definitely done a good job on that one.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Just my little concept if it ever happens.
Goosey Bear said, nice one.
Yeah. I'm gonna post the POVs on my channel. Like not on my channel, but I have them on my channel, so I'm gonna do it via the link. I'll just move it up just 1 second. You can just continue with your things.
All right, I'm gonna get shooting. Just because I'm absolutely exhausted.
For what?
If you wanted, Sam, we can bring it to an end if you want. I mean, we have been going for over 2 hours.
Just hold on a second. I'm gonna post the. How do I? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna do a video too. Just hold on a second.
I mean, it's going up to nearly 2.5 hours since we went live, so might bring it to an end, anyways.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm actually gonna do it on the Discord server. So.
Oh yeah, drop a link on there,
Yeah,
mate.
I'm gonna drop every single POV on the Discord server.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
looks like we're going to have to end the stream from there.
No worries. But yeah, it's been good though. So it's been good to see you, Alpha. It's been good to get back to it after being away for a bit due to work and life. But yeah, so thanks to Goosey Bear for coming in, and yeah, so thanks for everyone for watching if you did. So we're gonna go now. So hopefully we're gonna try and do a live stream every Friday night if we can. But we'll see how things go. But we want to try and keep things going because it looks like we're finally getting some interesting news in regards to G5. Finally getting some characters and getting a little look see of what's going on. So if we do see stuff, we'll save it and we'll mention it in a stream down the line.
All right.
But so yeah, can you all stream again next week? Yeah, we'll definitely gonna try. We'll definitely try our best.
Yeah, we can try to see if we can do that.
I mean, Friday evenings for us. I mean, I'm busy on a Saturday night, so I can't really do a Saturday stream. But Friday nights shouldn't be a problem at all. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Thanks to Goosey Bear. Thanks to Alpha and Sam for joining me there tonight. And see you all soon. And not long now, about 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll be watching some ponies.
It's been good to catch up with you all again, and well, hopefully we will all have a good discussion of the new series when it gets released.
Yeah, we'll do a proper thoughts, maybe an episode 1 thoughts, or watch all 8 episodes in one at once. We'll do something. We'll try and do something.
Yeah, we definitely will. And Alpha, look forward to seeing more of your theme park roller coaster videos, mate.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, no worries.
Anyway,
right.
So yeah,
let's go ahead and end from there. All right, I'm gonna have to start ending out too. So. Yeah, I'll post the links and everything else, and I also have a reaction of the 24th Tell Your Tale episode. It's actually one of the best ones I've seen. All right, I gotta head out. All right,
all right,
guys.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
So, is there any last things you want to say, Sam, before we finish? Let you have your tea. That's gone cold for the past 2 hours.
No, this is in a thermal mug.
Oh,
so yeah, that'll keep that hot for like hours.
Goosey Bear says, Alpha, please do a Transformers theme park.
Yeah, just to say it's been great to chat with you all again. Yeah, I've no doubt we've got plans for the future. I'll most likely see you tomorrow, Nosy.
Right.
So yeah, so it's been good. Yeah, we'll see what September brings for the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still interested. I'm still very much interested in what's going to go down. I mean, looking at what we showed earlier on in the stream, the animation does look a little bit more polished. But like I said, they are screen caps, so maybe the resolution isn't as good on however they've captured the screen caps. And also, they will be working on the animation right up until it releases, anyways. So they never stop until a lot of the time the process is still being polished and looked at right up until it goes up. Anyway, so thank you again, Goosey Bear, to Sam, and to Alpha for joining me this evening. And so hopefully we'll be back next week, next Friday, at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. But again, thank you. It's good to be back, and see you next week, hopefully.
Take care, everyone. See you all in a week's time.